Today I want to talk to you guys about Jace, the Mind Sculptor, and the type of Jeskai decks that I like to play that I think he has the potential to work in, and why. I had a really awesome meeting just a bit ago with a career coach. As most of you know, I lost my job in December and I'm trying to potentially redo my career, and that went fantastic. But while I'm here up in the mountains, I thought that I would do a short walk and see if I can find any landscape photography opportunities. And while I'm walking in the woods looking for landscape photography opportunities, I thought I could talk to you guys about Magic the Gathering, Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Jeskai. Small point, not only am I walking uphill, I forgot my small camera, so I'm actually vlogging on a full frame DSLR. That weighs a lot and is killing my arm. Hill. So I went to revise my initial estimates. I don't think I'm gonna start with one Jace one side. I think I'm gonna start with two Jace main one side. And the reason is, if you think about this, Jeskai Flash type list. You have Spell Queller in 3, 2 Cryptic Commands in the deck, 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor. Your opponent plays a thing. You now Spell Queller it, untap. If you think that they could play a haste creature, you hold back the Spell Queller to block, even though they have a spell underneath it. You untap, or you've already untapped. You're at 4 mana, you play Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now you have Spell Queller as a blocker or an attacker. You get to Brainstorm because you countered the thing they tried to do prior to Jace the Mind Sculptor. And now you're gonna get at least 2 Brainstorms, which means in conjunction with your draw step and maybe a fetch hand, you have the potential to see like 6 or 7 cards. I guess if you play mana on 4, you'd Brainstorm, 2 are gonna go back, so you'd probably draw at least the top one, then you can play fetch and draw and Brainstorm again. Anyway, so that interaction seems really compelling to me. Also, let's imagine that you're playing a Geist deck, and let's just say you're playing Remand. That doesn't really matter, but you kill their first thing with a lightning bolt, you counter their second thing, you untap, you play Geist, they play a blocker of some sort, you get to now make a decision. You can untap, play Jace, and at that point, it's not that you want to use Geist as a blocker, but you have a hexproof blocker to ensure that you're going to get at least 2 Brainstorms out of your Jace. So, or it's like a Tarmogoyf for something, you minus Jace, hit them for 6, and now any creature they play again, you're at least going to have another Jace minus. So against decks that don't go wide in a Geist deck, I actually think his minus ability has incredibly good synergy. Not only is it a tempo play against your opponent, but you're gonna hit them for 6 with a Geist of St. Traft. Another deck that I think that has potential, and this is very much tied to how good Wall of Omens and Restoration Angel are going to be, but is the Jeskai Kiki deck. So if your deck is filled with Wall of Omens and Restoration Angels and ways to block Jace the Mind Sculptor, not only is he gonna help you find the combo, in fact, you could probably run only one Kiki Jiki in that standpoint, the Wall of Omens can help you win with Jace as well. And in all of these scenarios, whether it's Click or Geist, once you've resolved that Jace, so let's say with the Geist rule, you play Geist, they untap, they play a thing, you play Jace, and you decide that the best way for you to win the game is to Brainstorm. Who cares if your Geist is dying? Now you're brainstorming. Now you have an active Jace. You have a way to control the game and win the game. And so you no longer need that Geist. But if the Geist plan is good, it synergizes with that plan. So I don't know what the exact best version of this deck is going, or what the right version is going to be. I mean, a lot of it's probably going to depend on what the meta's looking like at the time. But these are real synergies that are really going to matter. And I think they're very compelling, and I think Jace is certainly going to find a home in these versions of the deck. You know, going back to Queller and Vendilion Click, I think in some ways, against some decks, Vendilion Click stock is going to rise because, well, they're both kind of rising. Spell Queller counters Jace the Mind Sculptor, but also Vendilion Click gives you a good instant speed way to pressure Jace the Mind Sculptor. So I think all of this stuff is just super interesting. And, you know, even if you're not countering something with their Queller, if you think your Jace plan is better, then it's fine just to be like, all right, flash and Spell Queller, end of your turn, untap Jace, leave Spell Queller back to block, Brainstorm. They attack in, chump block with Spell Queller, untap, draw a card, Brainstorm. You're gonna find an answer most likely in that many cards to whatever it is they were doing. From back in the Dig Through Time days, just looking at 7 cards is nuts. And at that point, you're gonna be able to find the answer, keep brainstorming, start fate sealing them, or just find your own action. And so really excited to start trying Jace in some of these decks. I know that some people are gonna just immediately gravitate towards the full control versions, but I have also thought that in some ways, the more mid-range versions with creatures are actually gonna potentially have an easier time at countering. I mean, at protecting Jace the Mind Sculptor and continuing to get value out of him. So I don't exactly know which cards it's going to replace, but for the Flash list or for the Geist list, I'm kind of thinking, okay, maybe what I want to do is like 2 Geists, 2 Quellers, 2 Vendilion Clicks, 2 Electrolyze, 2 Cryptics, 2 Cryptic Commands. I'm also still like not completely opposed to finding a Restoration Angel, one of in the list, because it just makes a really good blocker. And also, I think that there's a reasonable chance that Bolt becomes more popular again, because obviously we're going to see more Jund if this Bloodbraid thing works out. And then Lightning Bolt's a really good way to kill a Jace that's just Brainstorm. And if that's the case, then I think cards like Restoration Angel, their stock might go back up a little bit. Anyway, a lot remains to be seen. But now that I've had a chance to actually think about some of these potential lists, I wanted to share my thoughts with you. Jace is just going to be such a powerful card. I think there's a lot of synergies in what the more tempo / mid-range versions are doing, and I think he's going to certainly find a home there. Even though at first, like in a Geist deck, my initial inclination was not really on plan because he's not killing you. It's like, wait a second, but Jace is so powerful that once you play Jace, you can just change your plan or continue with it. Like I said, I know I'm reiterating here, but my point is you can bounce their creature, kill them with Geist, and if you think that's not going to be good enough, just start brainstorming, block with Geist, and win with Jace the Mind Sculptor. Anyway, super excited to try this stuff out. And, you know, everybody's saying I'm going to quit now. Like, I know this is difficult. I know you're going to have to maybe invest in Jaces, and that's frustrating, but you really got to look at Modern as a long-term play. I mean, I was playing Geist of St. Traft when Deathrite Shaman was in the format. And you know how annoying it was to see that Deathrite Shaman was a 1/2, and when your Jund opponent had a Deathrite Shaman and a Dark Confidant on the battlefield, you couldn't electrolyze them both? There was just no reason for him to have 2 toughness. I also played Geist of St. Traft during the Birthing Pod era, and the guys I worked with them, Scott McCallum, Jason Clark, Larry Swayze, they all had we had great success piloting Geist against Birthing Pod, and these are some truly, even during the Twin format. So my point is, just because a new card is added, doesn't mean we won't be able to adapt. It doesn't mean the format's busted. It doesn't mean you should quit. You know, Modern is a long-term play. You got to ride the good times, ride the bad times, and that's why I advocate playing what you love. Because if you play what you love, you get to also enjoy like tweaking your deck to compensate for these new meta shifts and new cards, and I find enjoyment in that as well. All right, well, I want to finish enjoying this beautiful forest, see if I can find a view. As always, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to take the train back. It's going to take an hour. I'm going to see if I can get this video up on the way. I will talk to you guys soon. And until then, Jace Mind Sculptor, better than all.